The Prime Minister finally breaking his silence over the expletives that were hurled at the Prime Minister's deceased mother. Take a look at this. This is all over the controversy over the expletives allegedly hurled at his late mother from an opposition stage, an RJD Congress stage in Bihar, addressing nearly 20 lakh women during the launch of a women's cooperative initiative in Patna. The Prime Minister hit back at the Congress-RJD alliance, saying the insult was not just to him, but to every mother and sister in the country. The Prime Minister said his late mother was dragged into the political battlefield, asking, "What wrong had my mother done?" He added that his mother was verbally abused on a campaign stage of the opposition bloc and said that this act had humiliated every mother and sister of the nation.
मेरी उस मां को, जिसका राजनीति से कोई लेना देना नहीं, जिसका शरीर भी अब नहीं है, मेरी उस मां को आरजेडी कांग्रेस के मंच से भद्दी भद्दी गालियां दी गई। माताएं बहनें, मैं देख रहा हूं आपके चेहरे, आपको भी कितना दर्द हुआ होगा।
And well, this wasn't just a political counter. It got a bit personal, it got raw, deeply emotional coming from the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister added that those born into privilege are drowning in arrogance. And he added that they've stooped so low that they now call him Nali ka Keeda and a snake. Listen in.
कभी ये मुझे नीच कहते हैं, गंदी नाली का कीड़ा कहते हैं, जहर वाला सांप बोलते हैं। आपने तो अभी अभी सुना होगा, यहां बिहार चुनाव में भी मुझे तू तड़ाक करके गाली देकर इनकी नामदार वाली सोच बार बार उजागर हो रही है।
Well, now the opposition, RJD's Mrityunjay Tiwari, slammed the Prime Minister for using his mother as a shield and fanning emotions for votes. Senior Congress leader Pawan Kheda earlier said BJP's agents had entered the Congress and the RJD event and used slang to raise the political storm. He said, and I quote, "They are frustrated over our yatra. They want to divert attention." So what really is at play? Joining me here on the broadcast are Chitra Batham, spokesperson for the Congress Party, Ratnesh Kushwaha, spokesperson and State Secretary, Bihar, BJP, Suresh Kochatel, political analyst, a very warm welcome to you, and Advocate Manaswi Thapar, political analyst, also with us on the broadcast. Let me quickly begin with the Congress spokesperson here. Chitra ji, let's begin this snowball. Let's try and understand, because even after the Prime Minister's emotional plea addressing 20 lakh women at large, the Congress continues to insist that the abusive slogans were not raised by your own leaders. Several other spokespersons have said so differently. The BJP says that you're deflecting this entire issue. So first and foremost, does the Congress Party take responsibility for what happened on your stage, on the opposition stage? Let's get the snowball rolling here.
Hello, Krishna, to you and your viewers as well, and to my fellow panelists. First of all, my question to you is, whose government is in Bihar currently? It is the NDA government in Bihar. So I would like to understand, where is that person who said all these abusive words? Has he been arrested? Is my question, first of all, to the government. Why has he not been arrested so far? Okay,
He has been arrested, ma'am. You clear up yourself information. He has been arrested. Second
That
day.
person, Mr. Rizvi, he's been taken into custody.
So please interrogate him. Please interrogate him and ask him as to whose agent was he, because as per the social media reports, he is an active BJP member who was actually used as a stooge to divert the topic of vote chori or the voter adhikar yatra, after which garnered so much massive response in Bihar. So the Prime Minister ultimately is resorting to such shameful and diversionary tactics. I would like to ask you, every woman is somebody's wife, somebody's mother, somebody's daughter, somebody's sister. And I'm really glad that the Prime Minister today is acknowledging that women should be respected. Should I remind this panelist, the way or the manner in which the Prime Minister has abused the women of this nation earlier? 50 crore ki girlfriend, Jersey cow, and what not other words has he used for women in this country. So I think, we must come to a conclusion that yes, whatever, or rather whoever did this on our stage or whoever stage it has happened, it was very shameful. That person should be tried and it should be, brought to justice. But using this narrative as a guise to divert and to
So
not
the Congress party does take
the
responsibility.
questions or the relevant questions on voter chori is completely shameful and deceitful. It is a desperate response and a desperate measure to completely
Okay, Chitraji, we heard you, we understood your point, and we also understand that the Congress does indirectly in that case take responsibility. It was your stage, the man came, and you have condemned the actions of Mr. Rizvi, the slangs that he hurled from a mic that was set up on your stage.
He was not an RJD worker, he was a stooge.
We're not saying he was a Congress worker. Let's not go that far. But it was a Congress stage. It was an opposition stage, and you do indirectly take responsibility because you're condemning that entire incident and episode as well.
It is the NDA government in Bihar. They could not stop the massive response that we garnered. So, which is why
it was the opposition event. The rally is being carried out. The rally is being carried out. That's quite a rich statement coming from the Congress party right now. Ratnesh Kushwaha ji, spokesperson and state secretary of the Bihar BJP. Ratnesh Kushwaha. All right, Chitra ji, let others also have a say at this. Right, ma'am? Ratnesh Kushwaha ji, spokesperson and state secretary, Bihar BJP. Congress and the opposition essentially claim that the BJP is politicizing this for sympathy now. We will ask our political analysts who are with us on the broadcast whether this is a turning point in the template for Bihar bound elections. But how do you respond to the charge that the Prime Minister is using his mother as a shield and using emotion to fan votes?
Can you imagine? This is the new law of the Congress and the RJD. Somebody can use her dead mother who has passed away as a shield. And they were using such a abusive language against her. And thereafter, the Prime Minister will come and use her as a shield. They should seek an apology for this. It's a new law in the Bihar politics which has been created by Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Tejasvi Yadav, and they were frustrated with the unsuccess and the rejection by the Bihar people of the vote chori yatra. The entire Bihar has rejected that yatra. They were not able to bring a single person whose name was actually deleted. They were not in a condition to produce a real events after the Supreme Court guideline of giving the numbers of the actual voter who has been deleted. They have been provided the actual number of the voters which has been deleted booth-wise. They were not able to produce a single name into that. Thereafter, they got frustrated and they came up with a new law.
Mr. Ratnesh Kushwaha, wake up and smell the coffee. Accept the reality. 60
Chitraji, if you do have a point to make, Chitraji, we'll come back to you. Chitraji, we'll come back to you. Nobody intervened when you were speaking. Let the BJP spokesperson make that point. We'll come back to you.
You will speak on your own time, right? So
all right.
have created a new law in the Bihar politics, and Bihar will respond to it. Bihar is the land of enlightenment, Bihar is the land of wisdom, and Bihari people will not accept that their loving and dear Prime Minister's mother, somebody make such a slang language should be used against her. Bihar will respond to it. And Bihar people will sow a new law into the politics, and they will see that what the Congress
okay, Kushwaha, all right.
After this.
We heard you. You've made your point over here. You've made your point.
That desperate measures, the way in which they did lathi charge on Sadakat Ashram, the Congress headquarters in Patna. Shameful!
This lady
Shameful
only
that you
speaks
do
on
and you
Congress
resort to
apology,
such
lost
low
the
level
obviously
chance to speak.
Rahul
politics.
Gandhi and
Yes,
Tejasvi should seek apology
withdraw
from the Prime
Congress
Minister.
ki withdraw.
The
Who
way
said?
their
50
space
crore
was
voters
used
said.
for
Who
this
said?
kind of slang language.
Okay,
Madam,
my
you are a
request to
lady
both the
who should accept
spokespersons,
this
my
kind
request
of
to both the
slang.
spokespersons,
Yeah,
listen in,
and now you put this dead mother
Chitraji,
in cheek.
you know, this
Shame
seems
on
to
you.
be a
I'm
recurring
confident
issue.
that
Chitraji, this seems to be a
now.
recurring issue. Maybe that's why the Congress party needs to listen to other people also. Sometimes, if you just listen to other people, maybe you get to a point. We've got to meet each other halfway here, don't we? Mr. Suresh Kochatil, the political brinkmanship will continue, and we will, of course, give both the spokespersons one more round to go at this and put your point across in the right way. Let's make this worth the time for all our viewers as well. Mr. Kochatil, do you see this now as a turning point for Bihar's campaign, where the election agenda shifts from, caste census to the SIR and the electoral revision, and now emotion over insults? Where do you see this leading to, and is this a turning point for the Bihar template?
Yes, actually, yes, correct. If you remember, the mouth ka saudagar jibe by Sonia Gandhi against against Prime Minister Modi backfired badly on the Congress. Now, the problem is simple. Here, the Congress spokesperson first came and said the person has not been arrested. When you proved that the person was arrested, she changed the tack. The point is very simple. We have a stage. Your party meeting. Somebody comes on the stage. If he's speaking something wrong, just pull him off the stage. Why did you allow him to go on and on and on? That means you actually are allowing him to do. True, in a public meeting, there are hundreds of people who come in. But how did he get to the stage? You can't say he's a stooge, he's an agent, he's that, he's this. We have a very
No, but
clear here that
when the
Prime
Congress
Minister-
spokesperson says, Mr. Kochatil, that it's the NDA government in Bihar, they should have taken action against it. Do they have a valid, credible point? Because yes, the government of the day, the ruling dispensation, is the NDA government, but it was an opposition stage. There's so many opposition karyakartas there. One can imagine what that situation might have been like. And then somebody going onto the stage and hurling those abuses. Who's really actually responsible? Let's actually talk about that.
The person conducting the meeting is responsible. It is common sense, actually. The person conducting the meeting, the party conducting the meeting, just because the NDA government is ruling in Bihar, doesn't mean that NDA government guy goes on the stage and pulls off this chap. That would have created another controversy, or a policeman going and pulling somebody off. Then we would have freedom of expression and all that nonsense coming up later. Here it is very clear that Prime Minister Modi has not just been targeted now. Remember, he has been targeted. Can I finish, please? This lady, can she just stay quiet?
That's all right,
I don't
Mr.
think she
Kochatil.
understands the decorum
Please
of a
finish your
debate.
thoughts. Please finish your thoughts.
I do
Yeah,
understand.
decorum.
I
Everybody's
do
doing their
understand
job.
the decorum, but
Everybody's
you
doing
also
their job.
should
I
understand
can't
that
be
you know,
gagging
let-
the
let-
Congress
let us speak.
spokesperson here. Can't put a complete
Let us
gag
speak.
on the
I'm stopping
spokesperson
here.
here.
Thank you.
Please, complete your thoughts. Complete your thoughts, Mr. Kochatil.
No, but this is ridiculous that you kind of not allow me to speak after staying on for 15 minutes, and then you come online and you can't. I'm just making a point. Please have the courtesy to listen. That is the basic common of a communication, that you've got to listen to the other person. You're not willing to listen to the other person. Please understand this. So here is what I'm trying to say, that you need to kind of ensure that there is a certain decorum. Now, remember, yesterday we heard Rahul Gandhi also abusing the Prime Minister. When you say somebody is a chore, remember the person calling Modi chore is out on Section 420 bail, which is cheating case. Okay, he himself has taken the bail. It's not that the court has given him the bail. So who is chore now? Technically, Modi can actually bring it up. Even the Bihar BJP can bring it up. So there is a language. You can't call everybody vote. You went to the Supreme Court and said SIR should be stopped. Supreme Court threw it out. You said you can't conduct the SIR. Supreme Court said nothing doing. It's a constitutional mandate. Then you said 65 lakh people are missing, and all of them were deleted by the BJP. The Election Commission said, okay, fine, present the proof, object to it. Only 89,000 people objected. The Supreme Court itself asked the condition. The Supreme Court has impeded all the political parties and said, come on, 8th, and present your data in front of us. That is the time the cat will be out of the bag, because those 64 lakh voters, 63 are actually dead, missing, or transferred from those places. Simple as that. You need to accept, you need to see the writing on the wall. The Supreme Court asked so many pointed questions. On Mr. Prashant Bhushan or Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi or Kapil Sibal. In fact, Kapil Sibal disappeared 3 days before, because he knew that the cat was out of the bag. That's very simple as the fact that 64 lakh voters are missing. Accept the fact. Your BLAs could have filed the objection. That's what Supreme Court said, that you have 1.5 lakh BLAs totally all over Bihar. They could have filed an objection. None of them filed the objection. Why? Only CPI ML filed 19 objections. Why didn't the Congress file a single objection? And yesterday I saw Pawan Khera making a ridiculous statement saying we filed 64 lakh objections. Where? To whom? This is, I mean, there's an affidavit in the Supreme Court, and one of the judges, the court asked yesterday, when the Congress spokesperson went on and on saying that we have this, he said, your affidavit says you filed only one till now. They themselves have acknowledged that they filed only one objection out of the 64 lakh missing people.
But
If
Mr.
they're missing,
Cochinil,
please file the
not
objection.
to
Every
digress
right
from
to
the
vote.
focus here, I know you're talking about the special intensive revision. Let's focus back on the emotions, over insult and whether this is going to be that turning
that is
point.
that's a part of the game. I think that's a part of the game. It happens in every election. You bring in
Okay.
the emotions.
All
And
right.
typically, we Indians are very emotional people.
Certainly, and we've got some of those visuals as well. A BJP leader, bawling out when the Prime Minister was addressing the 20 lakh women. Several of those ladies also, crying and sobbing. It got a little bit emotional with the Prime Minister's speech over there. Advocate Manasvi Thapar also with us. Many thanks for patiently waiting, Advocate. Do both the Congress and the BJP stand guilty here of weaponizing personal attacks whenever it suits them? Because you've heard the political brinkmanship, it was out there on display. And does this controversy now expose a larger decline in our political discourse? I remember we were speaking about this last week as well when, the incident actually unfolded and, there was that lathi charge that happened between the Congress and the BJP karyakartas right outside that Patna headquarters that, Chitraji was also mentioning about. So, do both these parties stand guilty and our political discourse? So why is it, declining over the years?
I think every day there is a new law in our politics, and this is not new. Every election there's a new law, and I think both the political parties are guilty. And I also would want to understand that if mothers are to be respected and Congress mothers to be respected, I think we fail everywhere. And when we question, when Prime Minister questions, he's right in his questioning, and he's right in his emotional attack to the Congress. And also we should also go back to that understanding. And also statistically, if I speak. Politically, statistically, whenever Congress has been abused by the Prime Minister, be it Congress ki vidwa or statements like Jersey cow and on Rahul Gandhi hybrid bachada. So all these statements when made by the Prime Minister, it has benefited the BJP. When abuses are made to the Prime Minister, it has also benefited BJP. So what I have seen in the past history of the electoral politics of our country, if Prime Minister makes abuses to Congress, it has benefited Prime Minister. If Congress abuses Prime Minister, it has also benefited BJP and the Prime Minister. So in this all understanding, I feel the Congress should not abuse. And I also salute Sonia Gandhi for standing tall by so many abuses by the BJP leaders themselves and also by the Prime Minister. And these statements in our country, which is the largest democracy of the world, when these statements come from tall leaders, it only digresses our politics. It only just takes our politics down. And a 21st century India, where the youngsters watch our politicians and such statements are made by tall leaders, I feel it is very sad. And this has to come from all the political parties. There has to be a decorum in politics, which is a self-decorum. And this is where all the political parties are falling. And we may blame the Prime Minister, but the kind of statements, we may blame Congress, I would say, but the kind of statements made by the Prime Minister himself in the past and continues to make in the future. We know how Sonia Gandhi has been told, Antonia Maino, how she has worked in the past. These statements by the top leaders and the IT cells of the BJP, how they have defamed Sonia Gandhi, but she had stood tall by these statements. But the reality of the fact is, Congress should not delve into such kind of politics.
That's an interesting point that you've made, Advocate. That, when the Congress does it, it backfires for them. When the Prime Minister does it, it ends up helping the BJP. Now, Chitraji, help the viewers understand from a Congress point of view what Advocate was talking about here. Do you think this is a problem that the Congress is talking about, needs to look at? What's really at play here? Why is it that when the Prime Minister, uses these slangs for Congress tall leaders, it works out in the electoral outcome? But when the Congress party ends up doing something like that, maybe a faux pas, maybe calculated, it always backfires.
See, first of all, Gabir, I'd like to tell you once again, that man, whoever said all those abusive words to the Prime Minister's mother, or rather I would say to anybody's mother, is not at all acceptable, and we do not associate with that particular thing, and we ourselves are demanding the strictest of punishment for that respective fellow. Okay. Now, secondly, if the Prime Minister really respects women, 2 days back on Twitter, on the X platform, his ex-MP, Mr. Ramesh Biduri, had called out dirty names like whore and prostitute to a current MP. who's a woman, to Mahua Moitra. What does the Prime Minister have to say about that? It's a very recent thing. Did the Prime Minister utter anything about it? Nothing. So this is all very deceitful. This is all very shameless act on the Prime Minister's behalf. He is using his mother as a shield when he knows that the person who did was not a Congress karyakarta or an RJD karyakarta. But obviously, he said we definitely are very much. It's a very saddening thing for us as well. But I'm just saying he's just blowing it out of proportion and he's using his mother as a shield, which is not good. It's a very
we'll take that question to the BJP spokesperson. You put it out on the table, Chitraji. We'll take that question to Ratnesh Kushwaha. Mr. Kushwaha, if the BJP is highlighting free speech and civility,
can you imagine the word which were used in
wait. What about abusive language? No, Chitraji is making a point. Time and again, Mr. Biduri has come out with those kind of statements. What about abusive language by the BJP leaders themselves?
Can you imagine the word which were used in Darbhanga? Anybody over here in this panel can speak those language.
An expletive is an expletive, sir. Expletive is an expletive. What Mr. Biduri has uttered.
You are just holding. You cannot have the present. That is the culture of Congress you are showing at this debate also. You are not allowing anybody to speak because this is the culture of the Congress who is.
Okay. I'm going to make this worth my viewers this time. The control room, can we please bring down faders? I need to speak to Mr. Kushwaha. That's it. Mr. Kushwaha.
Yes, I'm just telling you that man has used the stage of the Congress and Tejasvi, and I am just asking that Congress and why don't the Congress and RJD confront and seek an apology that yes, my stage was used and we are very...
well, aren't they making a point? Mr. Kushwaha, aren't they making a point? The Congress is saying, has Mr. Biduri come out and apologized? Let Mr. Biduri come out and apologize, and then the Congress and RJD will come and apologize.
It's not a thing that you are doing so. If I'm saying it, they are thinking that our Congress Biduri is not using that our stages. In the publicly, they are making a comment against the Prime Minister of the India, and if we are asking that they have been used, they should seek an apology from our country, and Bihar will do the justice against this. Our friend advocate was saying that every time the Congress use this kind of language, the Congress is being always face the music. It is just because the countrymen of this country, India, always know that what is correct and what is incorrect, and they make a justice. The Indian democracy is just because that the people of India knows how to make a justice, and they do a justice. And this time again, in the Bihar election, coming election, they will feel that what they have done, they will feel the music.
What you riled up, and which is why you pitted that ploy or from the Congress stage. So you please accept it, and the PM must apologize first to the women of this nation for using such foul language in the past. Why is the PM not apologizing?
All right, Mr. Kochitil, let me come to you. Is this issue now too transient? Do you think the voters will move back to the bread and butter issues like job and development, or just like we've seen it in the past, the women of the country as a constituency have really backed the Prime Minister, and seems like this time again the issue is too emotional. It's an insult to the Prime Minister's now deceased mother. Do you think that will really resonate and turn into political dividends?
We know, as I mentioned in my closing comment on the first part, Indians are very emotional. We Indians are very emotional. I mean, somebody abuses your mom, you get really worked up. I mean, that's how it goes. I mean, that is the way Indians function. And if Congress had done it, the first thing they should have done was say sorry. I mean, this lady was mentioning that somebody from BJP abused, Mahua Maitra. Let me remind him that Poonchmal comment by Digvijay Singh on the same Congress lady in our party, the BY Srinivas of Indian National Congress Youth Wing, the Youth Congress in Assam, instead of suspending him, they suspended the lady and threw her out of the party. Is that the way things are done? An FIR should have been filed and the guy should have been taken to task. Srinivas is roaming around like a big shot. So that is exactly what you're giving away. Madam, can I speak? Please don't interrupt. Please learn the basic decency on coming on debates, please. So this is what I'm trying to say is that...
Okay, you know what, just like the comments being made from that stage, I think this this debate and discussion is also turning a little bit too personal. I'm going to quickly thank all my panelists for taking out the time and speaking us here. Chitra Batham, Ratnesh Kushwaha, Suresh Kochatil, and Advocate Manasvi. We're going to give you last 20 seconds. I'm going to finish the circle and the table. Advocate, take it away.
Thank you. So I think something which Congress needs to understand is that Congress and Rahul Gandhi specifically is not able to play victimhood well. Somehow his mother has been abused so many times he could not play that victimhood well. Somehow his late father has been abused, thrashed by BJP and leaders. He could not play that well. Grandmother, great-grandfather has been abused, called womanizer on Twitter by the IT cell of the BJP. Somehow they could not turn this into votes. And alternatively, BJP on smallest of abuses have converted them into votes. So this is something, it's a very low thing. It's not something which I would want to promote, but this is the statistics of the things. Rahul Gandhi's mother...
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Something is theory, the other is practical. And when it comes to optics, take a look at what happened in Tianjin and how the Prime Minister was right in the center with Xi Jinping and, both those leaders on the other side. So, two important points that you've raised here, Advocate. Again, thanks to my panelists for joining us here on the broadcast. But at the end of the day, this controversy is no longer just about one abusive slogan. It's about how political campaigns are being shaped, especially in poll-bound Bihar. The Prime Minister has signaled that the Gaali row will be a central narrative in Bihar's elections. Will it be the turning tide or not? Well, we'll have to wait and find out what kind of factor it plays in. We'll have to find out as well. But two important points that Advocate made here. Maybe the Congress party isn't able to capitalize on that victimhood as much as the BJP or the Prime Minister. And when the Prime Minister does it, it adds up to their political dividends. When the Congress does it, it always backfires. Well, why and how? All of us need to ponder on that as well.